All right, we are here yet another day. Welcome, Dr. Ezra. Dr. Ezra here is our guest tonight, and we are looking at the state of manufacturing from the African context, but again also looking at us being in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. Perhaps there is a lot we need to learn, and also be able to project the progress and where we are headed in the next few or so years, considering the state of our economies where we sit currently. Dr. Ezra, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
And of course, by virtue of where you sit here at the Uganda Manufacturers Association, you are at the helm of this whole institution, and we did not get it so well the last 3.5 years when the COVID-19 came and completely shut down the economies of the world out there. And I'm very sure you also didn't get it right. You didn't get it smoothly. And we are here to hear from you. How is it? How is it right now? How are you settling in?
Yeah, thank you very much. COVID, like in any other economic trend, came as a shock. Normally, shock isn't something that you have not prepared for, but you have got to absorb, see how you change. The most important thing is about how you change to adapt.
Yes.
To the dynamics that are caused by this shock. So it hit the entire economy, and we are so much interested in the lessons that we learned out of it to redesign our manufacturing agenda. So the first thing that we realized, the first lesson that COVID taught us is that we must think of production with the consumer in mind. We had consumption, manufacturing or production for a lot into the stock. We had a lot in the warehouses.
Yes.
Or whatever was in the warehouse was cut off. So we faced the costs for what was in the production line and the loss that was already in the inventories,
yes,
in the stocks.
Yes.
So we learned that going forward, each manufacturer ought to always project with accuracy the level at which they process, so that we don't necessarily continue to produce in excess. There is a lot of risk associated with excess. One moment, the entire global market can shut. What happens when you have tons and tons in stock? So we are cutting a little bit on the ambitious production that we used to look at. That is one of the lessons. And the second lesson that has come out very clearly is come back home. Every manufacturer now should continue to look more of the domestic market, more of the quicker to reach markets, and use of the resources that are domestically or locally available as much as they can. So those are the two major lessons that we have picked out, and we are trying to revitalize the economy and the sector, especially of manufacturing.
But you're cutting down on the ambitious production. You're leveraging the local raw materials. But again, you expect to grow the businesses. How is that going to happen?
That tells you that the ambitious rates of growth that we had always planned in our business plans have got to come a little bit down and become realistic. Because the consumption has also been hit. COVID did not only hit the production sector, yes, it hit the consumption. because the absorption capacity down there was disrupted. So that's why I say we had to revise the master plans. It is basically what I'm trying to elude here. Yes. Revision of the master plans.
Okay, so in terms of the raw materials, of course, everyone got affected, just like you have put it. Raw materials, are you getting it right? Because farming got affected. Of course, you coupled with this environmental, challenges that also are associated with what we see happening across the world now.
Yes, we have started that. It's not yet an elaborate system, not only in Uganda, across most of the developing countries. But the advantage that we are picking on is that COVID hit, but there are certain sectors that were not necessarily hit. There are those who took advantage. Those are the ones who now we are leveraging. Two, there are those that recovered quicker. Then there are those which are still in the slump. So what we are trying to do is, how do we use those that survived plus those that recovered quicker to pick up on the other sectors that are still under the slump? It's now the strategy that we are sharing around. Because, for instance, the medical sector picked on. Those that were in the medical supplies have some absorption capacity. Now they have quickly injected into investment. Now the construction sector is benefiting from the medical sector through the investment. And this money is coming back into the money equation, and it is helping us to jumpstart the entire system. So that's one advantage that we are getting. The second advantage is there are some governments that triggered in some recovery fund. So it is this recovery fund that we are trying to see how do we put it to best use between sectors. Which sector can correspond to the other sector, and they provide market or supplies for whatever, so that there is synchronization and chain linkages between sectors. That's what is now helping us.
What about those that have run out of business? Once upon a time, they were the biggest muscle here.
We are putting it to the agenda of the financiers. Most of them, the shock hit the finance aspect of industrial management. There are those that were hit by staff turnover and staff laydowns. Now they are finding it a problem to recall. One strategy they are using is expertise. We have cross-industry exchange of expertise. Mm-hmm. That is one strategy that some of the members are using. There are those that are recalling back, or there are those that are actually what is working most is contracts, short-term contracts. Yes. For the people they had laid off, mm-hmm. They have recalled them back in the form of short-term contract as consultants, so that they can kickstart their industrialization.
Okay. And of course, you are talking about, you mentioned about the financing bit of it. I think we are one of the countries in the region where financing business is actually very, very costly here. How are you trying to create a soft ground for your team to trade profitably?
Yes, we are engaging at two levels. The first level, the financial index is normally what the financial investors out there look at, which is calculated according to the financial risk of the country. We are trying to push governance, the government, to improve on those indicators upon which the assessors assess us, to improve our index, such that we become an attractive economy out there. Okay. It's one thing that we are doing. We are pushing government on aspects of corruption. We are supporting government on economic reporting. We are supporting the government in domestic financing. We are trying to work with the government on joint venturing through the PPPs. Because this builds the external funders' confidence. If they hear that some manufacturers, some private sector entities in this are now lending to government, or they are co-investing with the government, it boosts their investment confidence and then attracts. And then we are trying to encourage, to see consortiums, so that the local banks that understand us are given business, and we use them, we go through them to consort with the external funders for them to be able to bring this money by de-risking the direct investments, or the direct financing into this. That's how we are managing it. It is on slow rate, but we have no way we have to do it. Then at the company level, we are trying to push our manufacturers and the others to improve on their financial corporate management, financial management apparatus, and put systems in place to ensure that there is one way we are encouraging them through URA. URA is now a trade promotion other than a taxman. We are trying to say when a URA helps us to streamline our books of accounts, we are improving on our financial reporting systems. So these are some of the things we are trying to adopt at individual industry level to improve our financial management system.
Of course, you have mentioned URA, and I was just about to come to that, but you mentioned it. Let's go for it directly. We also have a shrinking fiscal space here at the moment because of, we have witnessed the departure of, or the pronouncement by the World Bank, pulling out, and perhaps we are losing a little bit of a sizable share of resources that are supposed to be pouring into the economy. And then you have the taxman you are mentioning, trying to cover that gap. Or don't you think this is likely to hurt some of your members, or it has actually hurt some of them?
The way market operates,
yes,
and I want to treat the financial market in this economy like a pure market economy. The way market operates is that once one firm pulls out of the market and there is a gap, that gap will always be filled, so long as the forces of demand and supply are working.
Okay.
So the question of World Bank, to me, it's we have not received anywhere confirmation that World Bank does not deal with Ugandan economy. We have continued, we're working with World Bank. And when World Bank say we are not going to continue participating in this economy, you pose the question, how has World Bank been participating in the Ugandan economy? It has been a relationship majorly of lender-borrower relationship.
Yes.
So normally when a lender does not give you a loan, what happens? You don't shut the economy. You resort to domestic resources.
Yes.
You resort to other sources of
financing,
lending, of financing. So we have an option to look out beyond World Bank and see out there, are they monopoly lenders? The question is that no, we have a lot of development banks. We have other sources which we think we could tap into. But because we cannot shut the economy, it's a regrettable fine to see one of our friends leave the market. But we still have hope that these issues can be discussed and get harmonized, because the picture is that we have always known World Bank as a development financier, not necessarily an activist bank. So it's a shock, but it's a shock that can be dealt with.
Okay. Do you think that you can easily or quickly recover from that shock and still compete at the regional level?
Precisely.
Now that we are within this Africa Continental Free Trade Area, everyone is running into this market.
No, the performance of this sector is not pegged on one or two sectors that World Bank was financing. It is pegged on the chain link between the multiple sectors. So the other sectors are still functional. World Bank was not doing so much in the service sector. Service sector is the leading contributor to GDP.
Okay.
So we are not going to say we close or we are going to be ruled out or outcompeted in the regional market because World Bank. No, we are going to find alternative financing for us to be able to continue being competitive in the region and global economy.
The program is Bizaphrike Biashara, and we look at the market space and we try to explore the challenges and the opportunities that we sit in or that we have, and basically also to look at what lies ahead of us. And I'm definitely here with Dr. Ezra, the Executive Director, Uganda Manufacturers Association, and we are exploring that terrain, and this is our initial conversation, and of course we will have quite a couple of conversations around this area. But I think we'll break off a bit, and then we'll delve into the opportunities that lie ahead of us indeed, and of course looking at the region and the potential market that we have out there. We want to know, is your cohort of membership ready to walk that journey? Are we prepared, and how are we getting there, and what are the facets and the tools we are putting in place that are helping us to move into that direction? Yes. When we return.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Dr. Ezra, we are looking at the opportunities that the region presents right now in the business space. Are your people ready to move that direction, considering the challenges that we have just mentioned?
Yes. You see, Arthur, business is never like an army where you say, draw a strategy, go and fight.
Yes.
As per the blueprint. The market is something that is about lesson learning, is about feedback.
Yes.
So what happens is that you move and the market talks to you and say, please continue giving us or don't stop giving us. So most of the time, the way we get readiness for market is not on blueprint. Now, but we just size out the context.
Yes. Out
there. The region possesses the biggest opportunity is about the population.
Yes.
The population that this region has possess the biggest potential for all the consumer goods, for all the services. So that is the opportunity number one for the region. The second is that the region has the highest growth rate in terms of the economic growth rate. The GDP growth rate is so fast. So if it is so fast, it means there is a lot of anxiety to have things that build growth.
Yes.
So that becomes the second thing. Then the other is the region is a destination for international investment. For instance, we are looking out for investors who are coming to set into factories that produce consumer goods.
Yes.
This is an opportunity to construction sector. This is an opportunity to the employment sector. So the opportunities are not coming just merely out of COVID, because the opportunities coming out of COVID are short term, yes, which to me I call bubble opportunities.
Yes.
something that is being induced by something.
Yeah.
But when normalization comes back, you normalize indeed. But I am more interested in the opportunities that are there under the normality curve, under the normal business situation. Population growth, absorption capacity that is increasing, the huge mineral deposits, the huge raw materials that the region possess, the power, the renewable power potentials that there is, all these aspects, the upcoming service sector. So all these opportunities for manufacturing to up their game.
Would you be in position to, kind of quantify for us the share of your business membership in this market we are describing, approximately? We have witnessed, for example, some of our products being rejected by our neighbors here, and yet we are supposed to be operating in a free space. Would you project us to a direction where your members really get some kind of sizable share within this market potential we are talking about?
Market, as if you want, is a transaction. But a transaction between who? Between entities.
Yes.
So what we are talking about, these simple NTB shocks of we are exporting this to that, and then one country stops the other. We treat them as just NTBs that are coming out of irregularities in the system. And we don't want to premise so much on them, because these are things that can be ironed out through business talking.
Yes.
Having a regional protocol does not immediately mean business. The basic principles of doing business must apply. One of them is that it's a transaction between two social entities,
yes,
two human beings. So we are trying to encourage the talking between traders across borders. Don't just send containers. The other one must be a trade partner, must be a brother. Because we are doing this at regional level under the auspice of brotherhood. But is this brotherhood being cultivated? Okay. It's what we're encouraging our members to do. Number two, we have got associations like this. We are trying to promote the talking between associations. If a member of CAM, the Kenya Manufacturers Association, faces a challenge while in Kampala, he shouldn't be calling Kenya first. The Wuma Uganda Manufacturers Association should be able to intervene.
Yes.
Because they are the association next to them.
Okay.
Under that kind of horizontal collaboration. So we are doing that emphasis. Then number three, we are trying to increase the interaction between government. Don't stop at signing protocols. The ministries need to have constant engagements so that these irregularities are quickly detected and solved before they become a challenge. No wonder when the government comes in, some of these NTBs are now reversed. Meaning that if we increased the rate at which the entities are speaking to each other, we are most likely to arrive at smooth running of business environment quicker than later.
Okay. You are now in the middle of preparations towards our next trade fair here in this country, and I am positioning myself as a businessman in Accra. Why should I travel all the way from Accra to come to the trade fair that you're preparing for?
We call it the Uganda International Trade Fair. It's just a trade fair where international exhibitors come together to showcase the value they have. We do it every year because industry is an epitome of innovation and invention. you can't be in industry and then you sit and say, this is what my product is. You'll never succeed. Every time you must be improving. And when you improve, you must exhibit and showcase to your consumer.
Yes.
Since now the African continent is one market, we are calling upon, we have engaged the industries across Africa, even across the globe, come and exhibit. Because it's now a global village, it's now a global continent, I mean a village continent. You can be anywhere and go and see. We are trying to come up with this strategy. Actually, it's been there, but we are trying to amplify it. That every country emphasizes this kind of exhibition. So that we move to see what the Tanzanians are doing. We go to Ghana and see what they are doing. With that, we'll be able to improve the rate at which the business will be talking to businesses. Okay. We improve the rate at which technology can be copied and benchmarked across. We increase the rate at which the consumer gets to understand the variety of goods and services that there is on the market. We tend to increase the rate at which partnerships and conglomerates could be made.
Okay.
Because if you have a company that produces the same thing in Egypt and another one in Ghana, we could say, why don't we conglomerate these outputs and they are sold outside Africa as one entity?
Okay.
So those are the advantages that we pick in showcasing, because exhibition is about showcasing ideas, showcasing products, showcasing needs for the solution providers.
What spectacular thing do we expect to see here that is different from what we have not seen before?
The theme for this year is how innovation, digitalization, technology is improving the industry efficiency, manufacturing efficiency. So when it does that, it improves on the cost. On our market, we have had a feeling that people think that whenever the cost of a product comes down, therefore the quality has come down. We are saying no. We are bringing the cost down because we are upping on efficiency that is resulting from digitalization of some of these processes. Then the second thing that we are bringing into this 2023 exhibition is that we are bridging the gap between the incoming generation and the current industrial generation.
Yes.
We are trying to bridge the gap so that the young learners, because this business of wait, go to the university, get a master's, start to interface with an industry while you are looking for a job, we want to reverse it. We want the person, a young man, a young girl, in senior one, must start as early as that to interface with an industrialist. Because this young man is the source of innovation, but the industry is the source of support to uptake the innovation. Okay. So the two will be talking to each other. We have started what we call education pavilion. The industrialist is talking to a learner and they're exchanging ideas. Okay. It is something new which we think should be able to up our game.
Okay.
Help us up our game.
So in that case, as we wind up this conversation, how do you project the manufacturing sector from us and from now to the next 10 years or so? Give us a rough picture of how you see this industry moving. Yes.
I foresee 3 angles in the manufacturing sector. The first angle is increasing efficiency towards production of low-cost products because of numbers. So I foresee increased infiltration of technology that will up the efficiency. Okay. So in the future, the locally produced goods will be accessed in abundance at low cost.
Okay.
The second angle that I foresee is a reverse into manufacturing or establishment of primary industries.
Okay.
Because we seem to have left them behind, now we are going back to uppull them.
Yeah.
The investment into processing industries, talk of Cofton ginneries, talk of iron ore smelting, talk of copper smelting, talk of timber processing, all these raw materials that we have in abundance, that we have been so much exporting in raw, I see a reverse and improved investment and processing in primary industries.
Are you putting any effort in building the value chains along that manufacturing the different manufacturing segments? Because we have also witnessed a situation where your manufacturers are actually importing raw materials, which exist here in a way, in raw form,
but they are
also importing
semi-processed. It is basically that. We are trying to talk, it's a discussion among manufacturers, how they can co-invest to improve on the processing of the raw materials. It's one of the lessons, as I said, that we learned from COVID.
Okay.
Can we process some of these things locally? It's now the thinking that is in the room. The other angle is the increased upcoming of the cottage industries.
Yes.
Cottage industries are going to continue to be a preserve for quality, specialized products. And you see the consumers are moving. There is a wave. They are moving from too much consumption to quality consumption. Okay. So cottage industries, because they are very dynamic, they can quickly listen to the needs, the ever-changing needs of the consumers. They are more likely to produce consumer-tailored products compared to the large web-based industries.
We have also had your manufacturers complaining that yes, they are producing quality stuff here, but then the consumer out there, myself and others, we prefer to look for the cheap products that are coming from outside instead, and kind of like affecting their market space and what they are supposed to do.
Yes.
Is it part of what you project by virtue of emphasis? Is it part of what you project in that wave of substitution that you're describing to
us? Yes. We are projecting, of course, the increased role of the Standards Bureau at both national level and regional level, so that there is room for proliferation of counterfeits gets narrowed.
Yes, sir.
So for those who are into that, their future is not certain. So the second thing is to increase the improvement in the tax policy to ensure that the import substitution incentives are put to right use, tax holidays are put to right use, so that the production of local products improves and improves with quality. And we are trying to again amplify the agenda for local goods, produced goods. No one has been pushing this. Government came up with a BOB policy, but we are now uptaking it at industrial level to see that the campaign does not lose the steam. We continue to push for it so that the local manufacturers are really supported by the consumers, not only the policy. They must be appreciated and supported by the consumers.
All right, coming back to the trade fair that is coming up, do you have any specific message or any
yes,
communication?
we call upon people.
Yes.
Come and meet the manufacturer that manufactures for you the product that you enjoy. There is nothing the manufacturer needs don't even give him your money. He needs the feedback.
Okay.
First and most important thing, we are calling upon consumers out there. Please come and tell the person that makes your pen, that makes your anything, and say, thank you, this product of yours has served me for this long. Tell the manufacturer that change this, it will be for my betterment of my consumption.
Okay.
So that is number one. Out there, we are rallying and calling everyone, come and give us feedback.
Okay.
Number two, come and see the attempts that the manufacturers have done to improve your things. So they want to improve with your input.
Okay.
So come and see their new innovations, because they are those are the things they would be exhibiting. Number three, there are people who would want to be agents and distributors for manufacturers. Come around and meet these people, ask for agency, ask for distributorship. They are ready to listen. They are upcoming innovators.
Yes.
Come and meet manufacturers and say, I have this innovation, I need some funding. They will be able to find a way of working with you to uptake your innovation. There are people who are starting new industries. Come and see what the other big boys have done. Pick one or two things. You cannot be in isolation. In my culture, they say, if you do not ever leave your home, you'll never know that actually people outside your home can prepare better dishes. So in this case, we are calling everyone, come and see, come and learn, come and buy, because everything that is exhibited here is at half price. There is the tax is not included, other charges are not included. We give at half the price. So anything that you need out there, come and pick it. Even what you didn't know that you need, you'll find here and you realize that you actually needed it. So we rally everyone, please come, it is affordable, come and meet, come and do business, come and learn, come and support.
You want to remind us the date?
The date is, we are opening our gates on the 3rd of October. We are closing our gates on 10th of October. Okay. In between, we have lots of entertainment, we have lots of learning, we have kids park. Come and enjoy everything that you want to enjoy. So the dates is 3rd October to 10th October. The Independence Day has to be aimed at Wuma.
Okay.
Gogo Showgrounds.
Definitely, we are much honored and we appreciate your time, Dr. Ezra, for this conversation we've had. And I promise you, we are definitely going to have a series of roundtable conversations around this area of business, trade, manufacturing, because it's at the heart of everyone and all the economies that we are talking about. And I want to thank you very much for the time, and we meet again in the coming few days. Thank you.